Okay, so there's no easy way of doing this except to just do it. So what we got to do is we got to dig a hole right now. It only needs to be about 2 to 3 feet deep. I've got a post hole digger, and then we're going to put this 2-inch piece, so actually it's 2.5-inch piece pipe, steel pipe into it. And this is what we're going to mount our 2 solar panels to. They're going to be running this system that's behind me. Wear your gloves so you don't get blisters. It's a good thing it's sand. It'll be fast. Notice how the sand is changing color? Because I'm getting down to where there's a moisture. Alright, I forgot my tape measure and I forgot my level, so I'm going to go get those and I'll be right back. I'm going to turn the camera off. Oh, that's better. Okay, I'm back. I've got my level, got my measuring tape. We're going to see how deep we are. Not quite 3 feet yet. We're about 2 feet 4 inches. Take my phone out of my pocket. I'm not. All right, back to digging. Oops, nothing that time. Alright, I'm going to say that's deep enough. Now then we get our steel pipe, put on gloves. It's probably pretty hot, pretty warm. Try to center it in the hole. Now try and get a level that's magnetic. Then you're going to want to do a couple of sides. Just cook the sand back in the hole. Doesn't have to be perfectly level. You want it to be as level as possible, though. Makes it a little easier when you go to try to set things. Now this is the pole for our solar panels, and we'll be putting those together here in a little bit, and then we'll go back over here and start working on our water well. All right, that's in, and like I said, it's really warm out here. All right. Okay, so now we've come to where we actually need to build our power system. And so I'm going to put my glasses on my head so I can see the camera a little better. But what we got to do now is build our solar array, and then that solar array is going to power the system over here. What we want to do is also make sure we get our power, solar power, to the batteries as quickly as possible, because those batteries really need to sit at least a good 2 days before you start putting a load on them. So I'm going to be moving back and forth in and out of the frames as I get material and tools, and then come back over here to the pole. This is the pole that we've already put in, and that you saw in a previous video, and it's ready to go for our solar panels now. So like I said, I will be moving in and out and going and getting all the different parts. So I'm going to show you the parts and the tools that I'm using. So I'm going to move out of the frame, I'm going to turn the camera, and look at what it is we're going to be working on. So this is all our parts, and these are all the tools I think we're going to need. To the left is a really nice, it's a multi-tool kit. That has just about every single tool in size that you could ever use. The parts for the array are on the top left, and then we have additional tools, and then we also have the nuts and bolts that are pre-planned by the manufacturer of the array. Actually the array, but the mounting, the solar panel mounting kit. So we'll come back here so I can keep my camera steady, and then we'll get ready to start working. I've actually added a box so I can get up on top. I like to keep the solar panels down low. I'm kind of vertically challenged, and so I like to keep it down to where it's easy to work on for me. And then that's it. So let's start. Had to adjust the view screen so I could see myself while I'm doing this. So these are the first two pieces that go on, and they actually clamp onto the post. I'm not sure how they clamp on. I think they clamp on this way. And so they'll clamp on, and then I'm going to have to drill some holes I see in this post. Oh, no, I got it on wrong. There it goes. All right, so we're in good shape. So it's got two pieces, two bolts, one on each side. And then let me go get those here in a minute, and I'll be right back. But this is going to go on like this. This is the first piece that we got to put on. And so now I'm back. Put everything down here in the ground. So the mounting kit comes with bags already predetermined with all the different pieces you're going to need. Trash management, I'm going to go over that in a little bit. Now, a lot of trash is produced when you put in a well that's this complicated. So we have all threads, and with the all thread you're going to have a washer, you'll have a lock nut, and an actual nut. And you're going to have to do this on both sides. Here again, actually we just had a cold front come through, but you wouldn't know it. I'm already getting kind of warm. And I'm going to go ahead and do two of these. Washer, lock nut, or a locking washer, and then a nut. This is where it gets a little tough because I got to do this all one-handed. I don't have any help. A lot of times what I like to do is use tape or something else as a third hand. So I've got these guys here. See if I can do this one-handed. I just happened to get lucky. Doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. Lost one. See if I can reach down and grab that bolt I dropped. Actually, it was a washer. Put the washer on. Switch hands. Ah, dropped another one. Hang on a sec. It's always better to work in twos. Now I still have my original level, and this pole is perfect. I don't know why this one's so much longer. I'm sure if I read the instructions, it'll tell me why. See if I can get this hand tight. And I just noticed I'm probably upside down. All right. Okay, so one of the things I've got is a tool that I like. I can cut this off. And this has these little tabs right here. And I'm sure these tabs are so that they can sit on top of the post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that tool, I'm going to go and get some tape, and then I'll be right back. So turn the camera off, then I'll turn it right back on. Okay, so I got some tape. All I'm going to do is tape this for right now. I'm not going to worry about which direction is exactly south. I'm going to tape this on here. I'm using green electrical tape because it's what I got the most of. This is what I was talking about. I also have some pretty cool clamps that we can put on here, and we can clamp this down and hold it in place. Now I'm going to get the reciprocating saw. We call it a sawzall, but it's a reciprocating saw. And I'm going to cut this pipe off right about here, then slide this bracket up. We'll get it orientated to due south. How do I know what due south is? I'm going to use my cell phone, one of your best tools. So this is a reciprocating saw. I'm going to have to stand up. I'm being attacked by a wasp. I'm going to set this and cut this right here. I got my safety glasses. That's how you cut pipe. All right, now we're ready to lift this guy up and get it orientated in the right direction. Loosen up my tape. And of course, our pipe's still not set in the ground yet. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to get my cell phone. I'll be right back. So I have my cell phone, and your cell phone has a compass in it, kind of hard to see with all the sunlight. And so I want it to point due south. And so due south is actually about that direction. And so I'm almost there, and I can just turn this a little bit. Sometimes you actually get more electricity being south-southwest, all right? So I'm kind of liking that orientation right there. Pack down my dirt again. And we should be in good shape. I'm going to get some wrenches and then we're going to tighten this up. Got a couple different sizes. Wrong size. So this is a 9/16. Let's see if a 14 and 9/16 is the same size. Yes. So 14 and 9/16 are the same size. And we want to try to make sure that they're even when we put these brackets together. And I have a box so I can stand on it. Then I can look down on this to make sure they're pretty much even, which they're not. And tighten these up. Alright, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and I'm going to take my tape off now. And just recheck my orientation one more time. Saying that. So I'm a little west of south, which is pretty much where I want to be. So our next two pieces are these guys. And we want to be able to tilt them back and forth between north and south. And so that's always a lot of fun, right? So I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this on. So this one has to go on this side. And these guys are going to be in my way, so I'm going to have to take the Sawzall and cut them off. I want to make sure they're good and tight before I put that Sawzall on. I'm going to pose the two bolts. Alright, so now I'm going to get the Sawzall and I'm going to bob these bolts off. I have a bolt cutter, I could just use that. Put my glasses down. A lot of splinters. Battery's in the way. Why you need a hammer. And you can see as I'm trying to cut these, they keep moving around. So we'll have to redo our orientation. Not quite. That one's good. Come on. That one's off. Got one more to go. see if I can make that. Alright, we got them all trimmed. I'm going to wait and do the orientation once we get the solar panels on there. The pole's moving so much. If we actually set it in concrete, we wouldn't have these issues right now. Take these protective caps off. Here again, trash management. All right, so now we're ready for these brackets. And I think, kind of remember how they go. Yes. So this will go this way so you can adjust your tilt. So put this one here. Like I said, it comes with already bags for each different attachment. Bags of fasteners. So we get a washer, lock washer, another washer, and a lock washer, and then we get a nut. And we get another nut. Same thing on the opposite side. Ready to do our tilt. Now they say to build the solar panels first and try to lift them up here. That would probably work if I had a helper, but since it's just me, two F-15s going over. I'm going to think I'm going to want to put these in place and then bolt my solar panels on. Let's see if these are the same size. Yes, they are. Sweet. So I call this a box end wrench. It's a box end here, it's an opened end here. And the 9/16 or 14, they're the same. Let me loosen this a little bit. Now then, you're going to see why I like my cell phone. I left it in the sun. So it's not going to be happy with me. Like I said, I have a hard time seeing the screen. I have an actual inclinometer on here. And so solar panels, you want to set them at your latitude. Our latitude here is 29 degrees, so if I can get close to 30, I'm going to be happy. Let me get in the dark. Okay, so I found my inclinometer. Still gonna be hard to see out here in this bright sunlight. I just need to loosen this a little bit. Set my cell phone on here. And now I want to set it to probably 60 because I got my phone upside down. So 60 is the opposite of 30, right? All right, that's 60 right there. So tighten that one up. So I always tell everybody your cell phone's one of your best tools. Go over to this side. This side I might get a 30 on it. Now it's the same thing. It's going to do another 60. There it is right there, 60. Tighten it up. See, if I turn it upside down, I should get 30. Yeah. All right, we're going to go get the next parts. I'm going to put my phone in the shade where it can stay nice and cool because we're going to need it again. So I'm gonna check real quick to make sure they sent us the right rail system. I'm gonna put the two solar panels together and then measure. "54 inches. Let's see what length these guys are. So they sent the right rails. They're actually 55 inches. We got 54 inches of solar panel, 55 inches of rail. Now this is the packet they sent to put the rails on with. And there's a couple of different rules of thought. You know, you can see it's a C channel, and so you can either put it this way or you can put it this way. A lot of people put it like this, so it doesn't collect as much trash. Open up this bag, and then we'll start putting this on. There's no way I'm going to be able to lift both those at the same time, hold this in place, and do all that like the instructions say. So here again, trash management. Big thing on the job site. So they're giving us a washer on the inside and then a washer on the outside. So I'm going to get the first rail up. Easiest way to tell if you're centered is you can count holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a partial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And a partial. So we should be good. Put my first bolt in. Wow, they don't give you a whole lot of room. Oh, gotta get my other bolts. But let me get another washer. The reason they give you a washer and a bolt is because if you tighten this thing down too much, they don't want you pulling that bolt through the aluminum. Alright, so both of those are on. Washer and a lock nut. So this is a little bit different size. It's a little smaller. Let me go get a different wrench. So this wrench is a 13. So I'm going to put my washer, my lock nut, my lock washer, and then my nut. Do the same thing on the other side. Washer, lock washer. And a nut. I'm going to tighten it down. And it's going in place like it's supposed to. Alright, now we're going to do the bottom rail. Well, I just noticed I might have this upside down. Can't be upside down. The screw holes, the holes don't match up, line up. Has to be this way. Well, we'll find out when I go to put the solar panels on. Because those bolt holes match up when I do it this way. Let me get the proper bolts and washers. Looks like the right hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, it isn't. Okay. 9 and a piece. There we go. 9 and a piece. Washer and a nut. Washer first. Lock nut. washer and a nut. And then we're ready to tighten it down. Well, I dropped both of those. And then this is sand, so it's hard to find anything once you drop it. Okay, so we're ready for the solar panels, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get a drink of water, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I just wanted to point out we have some helpers that have showed up. The goats are kind of hungry, so we call this dove weed. Some people call it goat weed, but they've come to help, and so I'm just going to let them walk on through right now until they get out of the way. Otherwise, they're going to just knock stuff over and be a problem, because that's what they like to do. They like to be problems. So just thought you'd like to see that. Take care. Okay, so the girls are back, and they're being a lot of trouble, especially this one. This one right there, that one's called Tama, and she likes to cause trouble all the time. Okay, sorry about the goat interruption. Oh, let me turn the monitor around. Now I can see what you see. So if you notice, things look a little different. I decided to read the instructions. The reason things weren't going together like they were supposed to is because I had the wrong rails. So now I got the right rails up, and now we're going to continue on from this point. So this is the solar panel attachments, and so I've already got them pre-marked. Goes at this location here. And I've got my 1-inch bolts. I slide those in. Hopefully the goats won't knock over the camera. They're walking around, they're being bad. Alright, so got a washer. Got me a ladder too, a little step stool. Lock washer. And a nut. Same thing. Washer. Lock washer. And a nut. Okay. Okay, the goats are attacking the tools. Do the same thing on the other side. Turn these towards each other. You see me? Yeah. And as you can tell, it's still hot here in Texas. Washer, lock washer, and a nut. Washer, lock washer, and a nut. I'm not going to tighten these down until I get my first solar panel on, because I don't know exactly where the bolts are all going to hit. So I'll let that do that here in just a second. So I've got the solar panel ready, and we'll get ready to hook these two up. And so they gave us a packet for each solar panel. Put one here, and then I'll get my first solar panel ready to go. Hopefully I got these things in the right place. Otherwise, I'll have to do some adjusting. Trash management. So this is so this is our junction box in the solar panel. I'm going to put it to this end, and these things weigh about close to 30 pounds each. So you're probably going to see me struggle. I'm going to go ahead and get some washers ready, bolts and washers. So it's not going to be too embarrassing when these solar panels beat me up. Have two of them ready. Ow. Oh, now I want to show you another tool I brought. These are called quick grips, and you'll see how they work here in a second. And I got two of them. So I can take my solar panel, set it up there, line it up with the holes. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, there's the hole right there. Line it up with the holes. Put my quick grip on here. Make sure my holes are lined up. Not quite, but they're close. I'm going to go ahead and drop one of the bolts in. I'm going to throw this quick gripper on here just to help me keep it in place while I do the other one. Quick rips are nice, especially if you're working by yourself. As you can see, I'm able to do a lot of this work, and I'm able to hold it in place while I'm working on it. All right, there we go. How you like that? Ow. Watch out for your head. All right. This is where it gets kind of tight. This is a tight space in here. So it's, again, washer. This is where you need a lot of help. Okay, I'm dropping everything. Actually, on the wrong side, I'm right-handed. I'm trying to do it left-handed. So I'm in a sandy area, so there's a lot of sand. So the sand's getting in my threads, and it's making it hard to put these bolts on. Ow! And so they give you 4 bolts for each solar panel. I'm going to put the other 2 bolts in right now. Drop my washer. Okay, so first solar panel's on. I'm going to tighten these down and then put the second one on. Now 10. Okay, that's a lot of work. I'm going to get a different tool. So this is called a ratchet. Some people call it a socket. It'll get in there a whole lot easier. Make my life easier. As long as I got it turned the right way. Being attacked by a fly. Wrong screw. So now I'm ready for the top solar panel. It'll all be easy because I just lay it on top and let the bottom solar panel hold it in place. So make sure your junction box is out the same direction. So I'm going to get the next bag of bolts. And we're going to do the same thing. Job site trash. Make sure you put your washer on first. Then you have a second washer, a lock washer, and a nut. Okay, just lost that nut. Just lost that washer. But I got more right here on my ladder. I dropped one bolt and I heard it slide down. It hit here. There's no telling where it went and bounced. Even in the sand, I may never ever find it. So, found the washer. So that may take some time to find. So anyway, I'm going to reposition the camera so you can see the underside, because now we got to wire this up. Alright, now we're on the back side of the panel. I try not to bang my head real bad. Let me flip that around so I can make sure you guys can see me. Alright, so these are the junction boxes, and they got holes in them right here, ports, so that we can knock out the ports and then hook up. I like to leave these holes pretty good size so that we don't get a ground fault going between our negative and our positive. So all you do is you open it up. Let me get a bigger screwdriver. So all you do is open it up. And be careful, these don't have stops on them, so they're going to fall out. Not on all of them, some have stops. And you'll have better pictures when we do the PowerPoints, when all this is finished. And, oh, that's nice. I didn't know they had those. So we'll go ahead and use these. These are called strain reliefs. job site trash. So what you want to do is knock out the proper size hole for that strain relief to fit into. We'll put one on this side, we'll put one over here, and then we'll have our negative and positive. We'll have to see. I've got the connectors and wires already done. So this is an MC4 and connector. This happens to be a male. So the male is positive, and then you have another one, which I'll show you in a second when we go to do the female. And so we're going to have another separate video shows how you have to make these on the job site. And so I want to make sure I got the right one that can reach that one. No. And I've pre-taped positive and negative so I know which one's which. So I have this one. Yes, this one fits fine. We may want to just go ahead, since these are long enough, put them both on this side so it looks like we did it on purpose. Same situation. See if I can get in there and knock these out. Ow! Oh, they're tough. I'm gonna need a bigger tool. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I got the right tool. It's called a hammer. And so these should knock out pretty easy. Yes, they did. And then we just take this bad boy and we put it up in here and screw it together. Now, like I said, I have PowerPoints and I take close-in pictures of all this so that you can see what we actually did, since a lot of this is hard to see on the video. Knocked out both holes. Get my channel locks. So once again, these are, I call them channel locks. You may call them a different name. And they're really good for getting inside the box and tightening up these bolts. I know it's hard to see how you get in there, and then just clamp on it and tighten it. You can also come from the outside. Be very careful not to hurt the vinyl backing. Okay, so tighten this one up just a little bit more. Alright, so now then we got to do our negative and our positive. And I'm positive that's what we got to do. These are our longer conductors, I think. Make sure I get the right ones. This is a long one, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and hook the positive up first, just so I know that it is the positive. And I'm going to run it in on which is the positive side. I don't have these marked very well. I could go and get a I'm not seeing what's positive, what's negative. Let me go get my meter and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is a multimeter, and you want to make sure you get one with a clamp. And what's nice about this particular multimeter, it's AC DC, so it's alternating current and DC current. Even the clamp meter has to be DC rated. So when you go to get one of these, make sure, a lot of times they'll have these guys DC rated, but they won't have the clamp meter DC rated. So when you get one, this and this has to be DC rated. So I'm going to turn it on. The default is DC. I'm going to change it to AC. The default is AC. I'm going to change it to DC. And what you can just kind of clamp it on. That's another nice thing about the clamp. The real reason for the clamp is to get your amps. And so what I want to do is find my polarity. Wow, got it right the first time. So right now, this solar panel is putting out exactly 40.2 volts DC. So the AC side is over here on this side. And so I'll take a picture of this for you and I'll show you there's blocking diodes and bypass diodes in here. And so all that is part of what makes this solar panel work. So I now know which is my AC side. And so now I got to find what I did with my AC conductor. So I think this is going to be my AC conductor. Is this the right one? Nope. Is this the right one? Yep. And the reason I know this is the positive, and another thing we're going to do too is before we put fuses inside our combiner box, we're going to go to the combiner box and check polarity. You only have one chance to make all this work and make it work right. Slide my conductor in there. And it doesn't have, I'm going to go ahead and get it up off the ground. I'm going to cut it a little short, keep it off the ground like this. You saw the goats. You know what they're going to do to these wires. They're going to come in here and they're going to chew on them and they're going to pull them down. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we're semi-animal proof. I've got a couple big goats. They're called boar goats, and they can easily get to this. Oh, and I forgot the cows. The cows are 1,200 pounds each, and they're about this tall, and so they would easily come through here and knock all this down. I need my cable cutters. I'll be right back. So these are my cable cutters, real nice. You can see. And you can come in here, you just clip this off. What I like about these, always pull the wire through before you strip it, because if you strip it first and then try to push it through, you're going to spread your wires. So, I'm going to get the proper screwdriver. We have another problem. They want me to use a spade connector. So let me go get a spade connector and I'll be right back. Okay, so everybody's got to have one of these. This is my kind of pride and joy. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's all my different types of hang on, different types of connectors. And so I have plenty of spade connectors. And so this is a spade connector. Oh, there it is. This is a spade connector. And you just put it on your conductor. Then you get your crimp. Put your crimp on there. Crimp it way down. That guy's on there. And so I took a picture of this so that you can see it when we do the PowerPoints. And then, come on. And that connector's on there. I'm just going to fold up the extra over here to the side, pull a little bit out. You always need a little bit left so that you have some wire to work with in case you have to do rework. All right, now I'm going to get the negative. This here's the negative. And then this is what what we call the negative conductor, also known as the female conductor. And then we'll hook this up. Going to do the same thing. We'll push it through the strain relief connector. And pull it to where it's about the same tension as the positive conductor. Give myself the same amount of wire. I'm going to cut it and crimp it. Thought I was going to cut. Here it is. These cable cutters are really good. As you can see. They easily strip the wire. And be careful if you're working with wires or conductors that are already hooked to the solar panel. I'm going to get another strain relief connector. I'm going to put it on. Going to get my crimp. And the crimp shows, on the crimp it shows, you know, where to use. These are 10 gauge wires, and it has 22 to 18, 16 to 14, and 12 to 10. Just squeeze it real hard, puts a dent in it, and now I'm ready to hook up the female side of this situation. Let me get my eyes cleared so I can see. Alright, that one went on pretty good. Fold this one up. Fold that one up. Unhook my clamp meter. And then I'm going to put all this back together. One of the problems we have in Texas, we have lots of bugs. And I have no idea what I did with my screws that came out of this solar panel. I'll have to find those in a minute. Actually, I can go back and look at the film and see where I put them. But anyway, we'll do that box, close it up. Not in my pocket, not on the ladder. Oh, I got them. Now it's the same thing on this box up here. So we have a whole nother box. We're going to do the same thing again. And then we have the negatives and positives already ready to go. And so let me go ahead and get started on that. I really like these multi-tip screwdrivers. They're called 5-in-1s because they're 5 different tools in one. Whoa, look at all that water coming out of there. We had, like I said, we had 20 inches of rain. It shouldn't affect the solar panels. Solar panels are made to be outdoors. Still coming out, look at that. It's not pretty water either. Oh, that water made my screwdriver slippery. Oh, that's a lot. We may well want to leave that door open so it can dry out. There seems to be some oxidation in here. And then this is the guard you put over all your conductors. I don't usually put those back because these solar panels get hot real bad, and so if you put this back on there, it's just going to get those connectors hot. You can do it if you want to. I'm not going to. All right, same situation. We've got the strain relief connectors we got to install. We want to get all our tools set up. This guy worked pretty good at knocking out these circles. And it was, like I said, when you just got to get a bigger tool sometimes. Almost done. May have gone too big on that one. Flies are really bad today. And we're ready to install these. Okay, so we're going to do our positive first. I'm going to push it through the hole. This one's already been stripped. May have to strip it again. And I'm going to want to verify the positive and negative. .4, a little bit more sun's out right now, 40.3. Positives on this side. Get another crimp. I'm going to cut this off and redo it. Get my crimp it on good. You always want to pull out, make sure it's good and tight. Good fit. Good to go. All right, now we're going to get our negative. Push it through. A lot of dust today. Get it tightened up again to about the same as the other. And then we'll cut it, strip it, crimp it. Oh. That's okay. And I just didn't quite have the connectors put together properly. All right, so we're gonna put this guy on here. We're gonna crimp it in place. Pull on it, make sure it's secure, and then we're gonna get it. It's tangled in this other one. Slide it on. Fingers in the way. Make sure you get them on really good because DC likes to arc and get hot. I'm going to leave this one open since it had so much water in it so that we can, see what it's going to look like later. All right, so I'm going to pan the camera around so you can see where all this is going on the back side of the board. And then we're going to move around to the front of the board because this is all done now. And so now we've got to start working on getting the pump hooked up, all the pumps hooked up and all the other electrical on the other side, since now that we have power. what's the most important thing? Doing the batteries. And so we'll get the batteries located, and then we'll get that going. All right, I'm turning the camera off and we'll go back to the other side.